stories yet untold. Passion ignites like a blazing fire. Knowledge takes us higher, higher. Out of the box where the wild ones play, we see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. The field's alive with endless dreams. We're more than stats, we're the in-between. A slam dunk thought.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sully Squad. We got tons to get into today. All kinds of stuff going on in Philly sports. There we go. I like that better. But yeah, we're Flyers with the chance to make the playoffs for the first time since the COVID season, and in my eyes, considering that year was so weird, really. Chance to host their first playoff game since 2018. I mean, Christ, that was fucking 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So, excuse me, really excited about them. They're playing great hockey. They just need one win in the last two games. Oh, here we go. Jeff's all fired up.
Put that down. That's for after the show, buddy.
After the cup, when they win the next cup, this gets open.
Nice.
Exactly.
Until then.
Big Flyers game tonight. Sixers, since we last talked, unfortunately, Joel Embiid had to have his appendix removed, so the Sixers are in the play-in. They hosted on Wednesday night against Orlando. Embiid's going to be out, indefinitely. I mean, I know some people say, maybe he could be back in like 2 to 3 weeks, but I doubt it. So that's, if they beat Orlando, they would play the Celtics. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Philadelphia Phillies forgot to hit. They not only forgot to hit, but they forgot to run the bases. I mean, yesterday was a fucking disgrace. First, you got Bryce Harper. I mean, I get aggression, but God, I mean, how many freaking times are you going to keep getting thrown out the same fucking way? And then Brandon Marsh. I mean, you got
that
first.
Was a boneheaded one.
For first and third, nobody out. Bryson Stott has a horrible at bat. Garcia has a terrible at bat. He pops up, and then Marsh gets doubled up. Absolute disgrace. And then since we were last on, the Eagles traded for another wide receiver. They traded for what's his name? Dontavian
Wicks.
Yeah. So the Eagles trade for a kind of an intriguing wide receiver from Green Bay. I mean, if that's not a signal that AJ Brown has a foot and 3/4 out the door. But we get a little bit of Eagles talk. The draft is 10 days away, so we got a lot to get into, fellas. I got my usual cast here, minus Diego. I got Sean in the middle. What's up, Sean? How you doing?
Sean, man, doing good, fellas.
And then right next to Sean, I got my man Jeff, who's all flyered up. I see. What's up, Jeff?
I'm just waiting for the celebration. Unfortunately, though, we were not going to host the game. The Penguins, if we were in, we play the Penguins, and they host.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. Yeah, but I'll tell you.
Still games against the Penguins, and I want to knock Crosby out if this. Hopefully, he retires this year along with Ovi.
Wait, so I'll tell you what. Let's start off with the Flyers because they seem to be the story right now. But let me just get a couple quick little comments here. Here's our man Maurice Wright. He says, "What's up, fellas? Good weather out there. Good time for a live Phillies game. Pick any day. Yeah, we should get to a Phillies game." And then Maurice Wright says they'll get hot this week. I'm hoping
everybody in Pennsylvania is going to be hot this week.
What's that?
Everybody in PA is going to be hot this week.
Yeah. Well, speaking of PA, so if the Flyers can get 2 more points out of these next 2 nights, Flyers finish 3rd in the division, and PA, they would play the Pittsburgh Penguins. I got to be honest with you guys. Number one, I don't want to jinx them, but I do think they get in. I think they win tonight. Carolina's resting a bunch of guys. I think
Gosper, the winger, yeah,
I
some
think
key players.
Yeah, I think the Bourne is going to be rocking tonight. It's sold out. Those fans have been waiting for the playoffs for a long time. I love the Flyers tonight, and I got to be honest. I want your guys' opinion, Jeff. I'll start with you. Not to sound like a homer, because I swear I don't want to sound like a homer, but just looking at the matchups and looking at the way the Flyers are playing, not only do I think they're going to make the playoffs, I think they have a hell of a shot of beating Pittsburgh. In fact, I'm going to pick them. What's your thoughts?
I think it'll go. What is it? The five for first game, 5 games for the first round.
No, it's 7. It's best of 7 all the way through.
7 this year. I think it would go all 7. It comes down to the goalie, and a lot of these young kids are just the first time in the playoffs. And you watching any games in the playoffs, you know the heavy pounding. We aren't really a heavy pounding team. That's something that we need to address for next year. Is get some guys in here that also hit besides score. As much as I love the Flyers, and I got to put it down that way, if you play a team that's it's going to pound the shit out of you in the corner, some of these young guys are not going to hold up. But just getting into the playoffs, getting the city back on, back into the Flyers, getting these kids. I mean, they are kids, 22.
Right.
23, getting these kids ready for it and not like, oh my God, I'm here. Oh my God, what do I do? That goes a long way. And I think I think, sorry if I'm talking too much, but I think Jonesy and Briere did a really good job in picking these guys out and who they wanted.
Oh, yeah.
And just Tocchet took a lot of shit about not playing this and not doing that. You saw Michkov starting to come around now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think they put the pressure on, getting Martone out there, and this kid's just doing it. How many times have we lost a player and said, "Oh, this guy's all right. We'll just throw him in a trade." All of a sudden, this guy, Gucci per se, leads the league in goals and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he's stepping up to the plate.
Just getting into the playoffs is huge for the organization again, and for these guys.
Do you think? I mean, you mentioned the Flyers' youth, and I agree with you. And in some ways, maybe it could be a disadvantage, but do you think that maybe in some ways it could be an advantage as far as what I mean is like they're so young that they don't know what they don't know. You know what I'm saying? So like,
sure.
So you got these young guys, been playing great hockey. I mean, the Flyers have second most points or tied for the most points with Buffalo since the Olympic break. So like they go into the playoffs with nothing to lose. They play a Pittsburgh team who, let's face it. I mean, Pittsburgh, first off, Pittsburgh, as much as I hate Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh's coach deserves a lot of credit this year. I mean, he may actually win Coach of the Year because they were take a step back.
They had a 17%. They had a 17% chance at the beginning of the year to make the playoffs.
Yeah, so I mean, that guy did a hell of a job. But the bottom line is, though, I mean, as well as I do, you go into that first round of the playoffs. The pressure is going to be on Pittsburgh. I mean, for as much as we hate them, Pittsburgh fans, the Flyers are like the city of Pittsburgh's like number one rival, like us and absolutely. us and Cleveland and the Ravens in football. Yeah. Like they fucking hate us. So I don't know. I kind of like the matchup. What's your gut feel, Sean? First off, are the Flyers going to find a way to get these 2 points and get in? And then if they do, how do you think they stack up against this Penguins team?
I think they get in. These 2 points, they're going to rest these players. Then they play the Canadians. And then moving forward to the Pittsburgh game, I think they're up for the challenge. I think these young kids, like Jeff said, you got Porter Martone. I think he's young and hungry. He's not playing like a rookie. He's playing like a seasonal veteran, and he's up for the task. Whatever Tocchet's saying to him, they're feeding into it, as well as Briere and Jonesy, because they had that pedigree and they've been there, done that, So I think sky's the limit for these kids, man. Just the thing that Jeff said and hit on, goaltending. But I think they're up for the task. And I think bring it.
Yeah. Do you think? I mean, I know Tocchet. Obviously Tocchet took some heat.
Yeah.
For the slump in January. But I mean, if you look, other than that slump, the Flyers have been pretty much a top 6 to 10 team in all NHL this whole year. Other than that one slump.
If you got on your phone
Absolutely.
right now and took a look at the West, take a look at the West and see how many points they have. We would be in like second or third place in the whole league over in the West.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that it wasn't at the doors that said the West is the best, right? But
Yeah.
it's not. It ain't this year. The East is the beast, and I mean, you just like I said, you just look at this Flyers team. I mean, Tockett's done a hell of a job, and then I was looking at even Michkov, Michkov, there was a lot of criticism of
Points, yeah.
Michkov as far as coming in out of shape and all. But if you look these past 20 some games or whatever, like Michkov's really been coming on. He had a big goal the other night. And I'll tell you, I think Tocchet deserves a lot of credit in many respects. But look at I was looking Flyers leading scorer since the Olympic break. Like, who the hell would think Noah Cates is up there? Like, I like Noah Cates.
Yeah.
Checking.
You got Sanheim, Forrester. I mean, you got guys that you said, Joe, you're kind of like names, but unsung names for players, and I think I sent it to you, 15-6 since the Olympics we are.
And how many times were they going to trade Ruotsalainen? And he's been great since the Olympics.
Yeah. I was on like, well, I guess it's X now, but I always still call it Twitter, but I was like fucking around with that. And I don't know why it popped up, but it broke down how good Ristolainen's been playing, and it was saying like, how the Bruins, or no, it wasn't the Bruins, it was Detroit traded for another defenseman, and Detroit was rumored to get Ristolainen, and the Flyers held on to him. Well, thank God, because the guy Detroit got really didn't do shit, and then Ristolainen's been playing really well. I mean, if you look, the Flyers defensively really aren't that bad. I mean, Sanheim's had a good year. You got what? Sanheim, York, Ristolainen. You got Sealer's a decent player. You got Drysdale has really kind of come on. I mean, the Flyers, they could use. The Flyers could use that like top line, like number one, like Chris Pronger type defenseman, but obviously they don't grow on trees. But I mean, they could use that like number one guy, and that would really solidify this defensive core. But I don't think the defensive core is really that bad.
But here's the big thing you have with this year. Like I said, getting into the playoffs is huge for them. And like Sean said, it's great for the kids' psyche. Like you said, they're playing out of their minds, and I don't want to say in some way they don't even really know it's the playoffs. They're just playing game to game. They just got to win the games in front of them.
Treat it like a regular season game. Exactly.
We just got to go out and try and score. But this offseason, a ton of money is gone from their cap. And now you're going to want the Flyers are back. You're going to want some players to come back because they still fill the building. They're still talked about around the league.
Oh, yeah.
So you might get some of these, guys who are these defensemen or these free agents or whatever they want to do, who want to come in here and play. So now they got some.
Yeah.
I mean,
firepower,
not like we did with the Eagles. Everybody wanted to come to the Eagles for a long time. Everybody wanted to come to Ed Snyder's Flyers, and we could get kind of back to that again.
Yeah, I mean, the only drag is there's not a lot of great unrestricted free agents.
Yeah.
Like a lot of teams have signed their own guys. But here's something I was reading. I forget if I was reading it or if I saw it on TikTok or whatever. But and this is obviously it's unlikely, but there's a few like young centers that are entering restricted free agency.
Yeah.
Now, odds are their teams will probably match. But like if you're the Flyers, you're already a very young team. Maybe you could go out there and put like a Godfather offer for like a Leo Carlson from Anaheim. 21, 22-year-old number one center. He would cost
really.
He would cost you 4 first-round picks in that price range. But maybe if you put an offer and put some heat on them, Anaheim may not want to lose them, but maybe you could work out some type of a deal. Like, it would hurt, but as much as I like Forrester and I like Tippett, but maybe you could find a way to package like a Forrester or Tippett and like a few first-round picks and another young guy. But then you get that number one center, to go along with Martone, and you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But how long is it? Like,
the next step you need.
We've been saying this. It's been a long time since we had a true center.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, I'm right there. High risk, reward. Do it. Because, like you said, you're going to get some of these free agents to want to play for Philly, like Jeff said, like the Eagles, the city, the fans. Because us fans, we know the game. And it's almost like your family. We get on you when you're not good, and we love you when you do good. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm up for whoever comes here, man. I think Danny Briere and Keith Jones know what they're doing and how they're going to do it because they played the game, and that's what you need. That's the best thing.
And I knew it was going to take some time. We all kind of knew it, but I didn't expect it this quick. And we are Philly fans. We always expect our teams to win. As shitty as they are at times, we always expect our teams to win. That's just part of
the love-hate relationship, you know what I mean? But we love you when you're doing good, and we hate you when you're doing bad. But thick and thin, we're right there. You're not going to jump and go on to the Boston Bruins or the Patriots. You know how it is. The band jumpers and the bandwagoners.
Yeah, little Mr. Becton is sitting out there waiting for the Eagles to call him back because he really wants to play here.
Yeah, I mean,
grass wasn't so much greener on the other side, was it, buddy?
Well, not only that, but I think I touched base. I think they want to go in kind of a different direction because, unfortunately, Stoutland's not here. They kind of did him dirty, in my eyes, But, how he's cooking up something. I don't know whether it's.
You know that. We all know that.
It's. Like Joey said, AJ's as good as gone, I think. And I don't cater him to, I'm not going to give him his legacy. If I'm them, you're going to Miami, you're going to the Jets or Cleveland. Whichever team I feel, if I'm the organization, gives me the best pick. That's how I'm doing you. Because you want to do us like that, that's how I'm going to do you.
Yeah, they don't need any more than bullshit. I think enough.
No, they don't. All it does is, like Joey said, it brings a big distraction.
Yes,
with any team, nobody wants that. I mean, everybody says it's like T.O. No, T.O. was different. Yeah. He played his ass off. He played with a broken leg. AJ would be caught reading a damn book on the sideline before playing with a broken leg.
Look what happened with the Flyers back in the day. I mean, my boy, the Big E. Eric Lindros came back and he basically scored a goal in the game. And Eric Desjardins, who I thought was a great player until he did what he did in the locker room and got all the players to basically tank the game and let Lindros get pounded in the middle of the ice. We lost to the Devils when we were up 3-1. And we lost to the Devils. That was the year to take it because they played the Stars. The Stars sucked in the Stanley Cup. Yeah. It would have been hard.
You're so right. You know what's funny?
Yeah, true. Very true.
That year, I so agree with you, Jeff, because when people think about the Flyers, like, near misses, of course you think about 97, you think about 2010, and then you go back to the 80s with like the Keenan teams and all. But that 2000 team, I totally agree with you. I mean, you're up 3-1. That wasn't a great Dallas team. That Dallas team, from what I remember, that Dallas team, I think, had won the year before. They were because they had beat Buffalo the year before, and it was their second year in a row there that Dallas team was running on fumes. The Flyers would have beat them. I totally agree. Whoever won that Flyers Devils series was going to win the Stanley Cup that year. I totally believe it.
It ended up being the Devils, and
we fucked it up.
Oh yeah.
By not closing it out.
We had Brodeur rattled.
Yeah.
and Boucher was playing off his mind. Remember, he had like the save of ever.
Yeah. You know what? You know what did the Fly? Well, you know what really did the Flyers in though that year? It's like it's a classic example of when you get a team down, you better stay on their throat because they were up to 3-1. They came here in Game 5, and the Flyers laid a total egg. Like they barely even showed up. I think the Devils won like 4-1 or something.
Well, that's the game. That's the game Lindros came back on. He basically said, "Let's lay down." He wants to play this game because he was starting. They wanted him on the team, but they wanted him to play, but they didn't want him to start. And Desjardins basically got this little coup together, and they laid him out and let him get nailed by Stevens, and the rest is history. Then they just couldn't come back from it. It actually gave the Devils the edge. That hit gave them the edge. That was like, holy shit! Did you see that? And all of a sudden, the Devils like caught fire, and that was the end.
Yeah, well, because and it's ironically because then in Game 6 up there, Lindros was the best player on the ice, but the Flyers didn't do. He was the only guy that scored for us. And then Game 7, like you said, like Game 7. You know, Wells Fargo Center's rocking. Everybody's like, fuck it, we're going to win. And then Stevens levels Lindros, and we all looked at each other like, oh, shit, we're fucked.
This is done.
You know, but yeah, it's a shame. But, I mean, hey, hopefully here's hoping that you know, we get back to good hockey, you know, a playoff run. And, you know, so let's just hope for the best. I got it. You know, Sean, you had mentioned A.J. Brown. Maurice Wright with this comment because I kind of wanted to get into this a little bit.
Let's go.
Especially with the draft being 10 days away. Maurice Wright says this wide receiver pickup the Eagles just got as a player that probably gets more reps than we would guess. Mannion wants wide receivers. He is putting playmaker type guys to complete the offense they're changing to. I like this kid. I saw, you know, he
a lot of people give him a bad rep. But I think he's going to flourish.
Yeah. Here's our man, Eddie. Hey, what's up, Eddie? How you doing? Thanks for checking us
out. They got this guy ranked high. They said that the Eagles basically made for steal. That adding him in there, like you said, Joe, pretty much puts a leg or a thigh out the door for AJ. After June 2nd, something big's going to happen.
Yeah, the only problem that has me a little concerned with this guy is he has a high drop rate. One of the writers was talking like, you know, there's times he looks really good and like, you know, and you think he's coming on like I think the Thanksgiving game, he crushed it in the Thanksgiving game in Detroit. And that was like on national TV, but then he has other games where like he gets a couple targets and he has a couple big drops and then everything. And I think that's one of the reasons why, you know, Green Bay's a weird team with their wideouts too. Like you never know who's going to get the ball for them. One week it could be Watson. Yep. You know, the next week it's you know, when they had Dobbs. You know what I mean? Or it could be the kid. You know, they drafted the kid Golden last year, and he almost, you know, in some ways, you know, I mean, I almost felt like a redshirt year for him. You know what I mean? So maybe Green Bay just didn't want to pay this kid. And they're like, well, fuck it. We took Golden the first round and, you know, sink or swim. It's time for this motherfucker to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think he was right. They're building up a good core. The one guy who's not going to stick, if you look at the list of wide receivers, Quez Watkins is not going to be here. He's just doing there to be in practice. You know what I mean?
No, I mean,
the team.
Nah, the only way, I mean, you're right. Odds are he's got a foot and a half out the door too. But the only way he would be here is if by some reason he looks great in training camp and he fits the new offense where like, you know, just I'm with you, Jeff, but just say hypothetically Hollywood Brown like looks like he lost a step or the other who's the hell's the other guy we signed that's AJ Brown's boy? I'm drawing a blank.
Elijah Moore.
Yeah, there you go. Elijah Moore. Yeah. Like, say those guys don't look that good, and for some strange reason, Quez Watkins like looks like he's, you know, fast as shit and picked up the offense. But I doubt it though. I think you're right. I think he's pretty much done.
Hollywood Brown, we have too.
He's got pretty sure hands. He's a good player, and he's a yapper. He's the kind of player that we actually need as a third receiver in the middle. I can see Wicks. If Wicks, like you said, the drops. He's, you know, I'm trying to think back and watching like on like NFL Network and all those things. They say a lot of times these dropsies is the way that the quarterbacks throw the ball. Like a lot of people seem to have dropsies except for Marvin Harrison with Peyton Manning because he threw such a heavy ball. But his was a wobbly ball too. He never really had a great spiral. If you ever watch Peyton Manning, he was not a good spiral guy. Same with Brady. Brady was never a great spiral guy.
Well, Favre always threw bullets as hard as shit at.
I was just going to say, and the guy who used to have one of the Favre,
Yeah.
and they said Jeff George was one of the guys who had one of the hardest throws. They said people were afraid to hit
with the Falcons and Colts. Yes.
Yep. Yep.
I remember Elway. They couldn't help but catch the ball. He would throw it through their freaking face mask.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, I remember that. Didn't Elway? Why did I think that the one time? I thought like I had this vision of like Elway, like the ball going into Mark Jackson's face mask the one year. You know what I mean?
They have those, like, what do you call it? Blunders and bloopers, and only you see somebody, it's in their mask. I don't remember who it is.
Yeah,
because they threw it so fast, and they're putting their hands up, and they go.
Yeah, and it wasn't a deflated ball from Brady either.
Yeah. What do you guys think of this? Eddie Prather has he's seen Amari Cooper's name being mentioned in mock drafts going to the Eagles. That's interesting. I like that kid. I'll tell you, I like that kid a lot.
Well, he's Amari Cooper's brother, so I mean, the apple don't fall far from the tree. You know, he can catch. I mean, do we go wide receiver, even though O-line's a necessity? But O-line is so deep with the offensive tackles and offensive guards. I mean, if you want to get that star player, him or Sadiq, go for it. You know, I'm all for it. I think we move up.
They have Sadiq going 9 now.
Too.
They're going to have to move up pretty damn far. So if they're going to pull something off, it's going to take an AJ or something plus
they
whatever.
Got the Ravens and Panthers are hot for Sadiq.
Sadiq, yeah.
I could see that. Paul Spencer with the comment. He says, "What's up, fellas? It's draft time. Curious to see what we do at 12 and 20. I'm hoping straight defense. Yeah, I think I'd be shocked if the Cowboys didn't go defense. And you know, I'll tell you, I'm hoping the safety from Ohio State doesn't slide down to them. You know, as an Eagles fan, because I don't want to see
them
going
to the Giants.
What's that?
He's going to the Giants. Tate.
You think so?
Tate. Oh yeah.
Hang on, I got another comment. Another comment here. Christina M. King Spencer. Hey everyone, it's Paul's other half. Hey Christina,
the better half, right? The better half.
Yeah, I know, right? How you doing? Thanks for checking us out. Eddie Prather with the comment. He says, if the Eagles take Cooper, that probably means AJ is going after June 1.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Eddie, I think AJ is going regardless. You know, regardless of when they and Christine says yes, she is the better half. You know what? I think Paul will take that, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Eddie Prather says he would trade 12 and 20 to move up to 6.
Okay. I see them.
It's funny
them getting the safety because he's been lights out. The kid from Oregon, Dan Thielen.
He's, you know what? He is. I mean, you know how this year you never know if it's smoke or bullshit. Yeah. But supposedly he's flying up draft boards. Like a lot of teams.
He had a very good combine. He really did.
A lot. Well, you know, doesn't he look like he should be an Eagle? I mean, we just lost Reed Blankenship. We need another white guy in the secondary. You know, I mean, we can't have the exciting whites without another white dude out there.
I gotta honestly tell you, whenever they see people are going up the draft board and all this stuff, I think back to one player that
I know who you're gonna say.
Who was that?
Mike Mamula.
Exactly. So I don't believe any of the shit about people going up the draft board. You have guys in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round who end up being studs. And you got these other guys that are moving up the draft board and they get in there and they can't do shit. It's a crapshoot.
Now this is
We
fun.
don't even know how Fernandez is going to do, or whatever. Mendoza is going to do on the Raiders.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this is why I love I love the draft. The draft, to me, the draft is like one of the best nights of the whole year. Sean, I know, Jeff, me and Sean, we go back like we were like in high school talking about like who the Eagles would pick in like '94. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's God.
no, well, I was gonna say this is why I love the draft so much though, because like look at these comments, ready? Like Eddie Prather says, Oregon safety is soft. F the combine, right? But then Maurice Wright goes, I would not be mad if we went up and took the Oregon safety. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I love about the draft though, because everybody, you know, it's a lot of times it's a matter of opinion. And then, you know, you go back a couple years, you know, and sometimes you're like, oh, I was right on that, or boy, I was dead wrong on that, John. You know what I mean?
Think about this as a player. Think about either one of you being a player. There you go. Mike Mamula, exactly. But think of this as a player. During the year, you've had a pretty good year, and some people call you soft. Some people call you really good. When are you really going to give your all and look like a player that should be drafted high? Is it the combine? When you play in the games, you take a little bit off. You're not every single player kind of laid back a little bit. So these guys are moving up the combine. Like I said, I'll never forget that. Oh, he can bench this, he can jump this high, he can do that. That's great, but he can't do it all game.
Yeah. No, listen, and I agree with you, Jeff. And I think one of the reasons that the Eagles have drafted so much better the last few years is because Howie has put a lot of emphasis on how the guys look during the season. Like, they look at the combine. Now, the only counter argument. Excuse me. The only counter argument that I would make to you is sometimes, for example, sometimes guys in college are in like the wrong system. You know, maybe they weren't coached right, or look at an example. Like here's two examples. You got the kid Villanueva that was with the Army. You know what I mean? And like he tries out at defensive line with Chip Kelly. The fucking Steelers looked at his physical attributes, moved him to offensive line. He had a long career, you know, or take it a step in Philadelphia. Jeff Stoutland looks at a guy playing fucking rugby and Jordan Mailata, you know what I mean? Looks at the physical attributes, you know, all that shit. And they turned him into a Pro Bowler. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's weird because I said
diamonds in the rough, bro.
Yeah, like I do agree with you. Like, I think there's a lot more Mike Mamulas out there than there are the guy that came out of no. You know what I'm saying? I think
love when they go to pick these guys. When oh my god, this guy jumped up to whatever the blue thing. You know when they do the height and they have the red, the blue, all that shit. This
right.
This high. Okay, well when he's running down the field and he goes to jump up to try and get a ball. Your body in general is not going to jump that high because you're also leaping. You're not going to get that high. Doing a standing jump is totally different than running and doing a jump. That should be out. That should be like changed. Have the guy run and jump and see how high he can smack it. That's what I would do if I was a team interested in the guy. Not what he can do standing there, because if he's standing there, well, he's not on my team. Come on, think about it.
It's like a weekend warrior thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Memorial.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is that the greatest receiver in the history of this game, Jerry Rice, ran a 4.6 40. He went to a small college. What was it? Mississippi State? No, not Mississippi State. Where did he go? I forget. I'm drawing a blank. He went
Southern
to
Mississippi.
Something like that. Yeah. He went to a small ass school, ran a 4.6. Guess what? When that motherfucker caught that ball, nobody caught his ass. You know what I mean? Like he might not have had the best 40, but no one caught his ass when he caught that fucking ball. How many times did he score touchdowns when he caught that ball? You know what I'm saying?
There's a difference of being good and it sounds funny, but being based.
Mississippi Valley State.
Yeah. What I say, Southern. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a totally different thing when you get that ball and you're what do you call it? Scattering. You're just looking for an open spot to run. And you just get that extra adrenaline. I mean, look how fast. Nobody really knew how fast Barkley was. but he's flying down the field. I never knew he was that fast.
Yeah. Eddie Prather says the players I would avoid: Oregon safety Mansour Delani and the cornerback McCoy from Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, like I said, I don't. It's hard. It's hard to know because.
It is.
Well, here's another example of why it's such a crapshoot too. 2 years ago, two corners are being picked in the first round. You had Terry and Arnold from Alabama. And I remember listening to the radio and hearing so many people say, oh, you got to go with the kid from Alabama. Well, the fucking Eagles took the kid from Toledo, Quinyon Mitchell. And meanwhile, Terry and Arnold can't hold Quinyon Mitchell's jock so far in the National Football League. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just
a crapshoot. Like you said,
it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Prather says Arnold's a bum. Yeah, I mean, so far he kind of is. He gets a lot of penalties too. But yeah, so
hey, it's what the Sixers did with what's his face, VJ.
With who?
What's his face? Remember, we didn't take Ace Bailey. We took what's his face?
VJ.
Yes.
Edgecombe. Put my foot in my mouth. I was wrong. I'm happy about that.
Everybody wanted Ace. Ace just sounded like a cool name for the Sixers. But
yeah, now the only thing I think the Sixers made the right choice too. The only thing I caution about now the NBA more than some of these sports though, like I think VJ Edgecombe will be a better player than Ace, but Ace is so young and raw. Like that might be something where like 2-3 years you look down the road and all of a sudden he's a stud. You know what I mean? You don't because these guys are so fucking young,
Yeah, but you know what? VJ's got us in the playoffs this year. Without him, we would not be there.
No, and you know what? Like we'll get to the Sixers in a little bit, but real quick, one thing, and I'm the first one to talk shit on the Sixers because I don't like the way the organization is run in many ways. It's a damn shame about Embiid right now with the appendix. I mean, the fucking guy can't catch a break. But I do think in general they baby these fucking dudes. I mean, not in the appendix case, obviously, but I mean in regular life. But I mean, Sixers won 45 games with like, George missing like what 40 some games, 30. With
the suspension. Yeah.
Doesn't it make you wonder, like, God, I mean, they win 45 with like makeshift lineups most of the time. Like, how many games could they have won if they actually played? You think about it. They could be like a 55-60 win team if they actually played.
So that right there tells me that you got to move Embiid and you got to move George. Bring some other guys in here that have some experience. Because if you have these young guys that can just about win all these games, get some other studs in here because they're just not going to do it for us. I'm sorry. I love Embiid too, but he's just done. He's just a walking wounded warrior. He wants to do it, but everything seems to hit him. Unfortunately.
Yeah, he just has no luck. What do you think? Maurice Wright says, would you guys clap if pick 23 is an offensive lineman, even if they moved up to get him?
It's good enough, yeah. It's one of the big guys, yes.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I mean, for me, it depends on like who it is and like, is the guy are you getting a guy that can
heir apparent to Lane Johnson?
Well, yeah, and not just that. Like, are you getting a guy that could play guard this year while Lane's here? Like, I don't
absolutely
because I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't really want to take a guy just to redshirt him for a year. Like whoever they take, I want to at least see the field, whether it's right guard or you know what I'm saying. Like,
I think they'll do. I think they'll get it. I think that's what they're going to go after. I agree with that, but I still think something. I don't know. Something's up. We've kind of been too quiet with any big names, and I know Garrett's name keeps coming up. A lot of people think that there's going to be a big.
Love that man.
Whose name? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Myles Garrett's name just keeps coming up here and there, and it's not just like these people trying to make a name for themselves. some big name people have his name in the background. Like, you know what? He's not real happy. He wants to get a ring. He wants to win. And, he's on a team that's just not going to win. It's going to take some time.
How would you guys feel like the kid from personally, I think the guard from Penn State might be like a top 2 or 3 player in this whole draft, right? So like, how would you, I know we want to tackle heir apparent, but just hypothetically, if for some reason that guard was still there at say pick 14 or 15, and you're sitting there at 23, would you have a problem, even if it took like 2 or 3 picks to move up that many spots, because here's the thing, Landon Dickerson might only play another. I mean, we don't know what condition he's going to be. Yeah. Tyler Steen to me is just a fucking guy. So like Maurice said something about offensive lineman. I think most of us are thinking a guy that could play tackle to fill in for Lane. But I got to tell you, if the kid from Penn State is as good as they're saying he could be, I'd have no problem giving up multiple picks and getting a stud like him, because then if in that case, if Dickerson can play this year, if Dickerson could, even if he's not all the way back, but if he's a lot back, right? Just say hypothetically, Dickerson's a lot back. If you traded up and plugged this kid from Penn State at right guard, holy shit, that line's cooking with gas again. Because all of a sudden you got fucking, you got Jordan at left, Dickerson at left guard. You're hoping Juergens can be a little obviously better than last year. He might not be what he was in 24, but then you'd have a young stud with the kid from Penn State at right guard. Next to Johnson. That's a good line.
Ione is his name.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Ione.
I look for 2 players on the Eagles. I think what AJ's going, and I also think Tanner McKee's going. Having Dalton in here now, I think they're going to take a quarterback a little lower, but I think Tanner McKee's going to be out of here too.
I want the kid. Joey knows who I want. Since we're still on the Eagles talking, I want the kid Taylor Green from Arkansas, Randall 2.0.
I would love that.
Yeah, no, it's possible. With all the smoke you're hearing with AJ and stuff like that, I mean.
Now let's hit the Phillies.
Well, wait,
talking about injuries Embiid's got, even though that's not the same kind of injury.
Wait, hang on just 1 second. Here, Sean, here's one of your buddies is saying, "What's up?"
What's up, bud?
Wait, I had one more thing real quick, because Sean mentioned the kid from it's the kid from Arkansas that you like at quarterback. I mean, right, Green.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's one. So I don't take any solace. I don't think there's any credence to this at all. But a couple writers were talking about, like one of the mock drafts had the Eagles taking Simpson, the quarterback from Alabama, and I don't see that happening.
No.
But you see all these articles coming out about Jalen Hurts. The only thing I would say is, boy, can you imagine if the Eagles were at 23 and we had like a repeat of the COVID year where all of a sudden it goes to commercial and they're like, the Eagles have taken Ty Simpson. We'd all be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That would be crazy.
That would be absolutely crazy. Oh, hang on, one more. I got one more, and then we'll go. Then we'll get, like Jeff said, we'll go to the Phillies. Eddie Prather says, if I'm Dallas, he says Dallas would take Green in the 4th round. I could see Dallas, because Dallas could use a young quarterback too.
Mm-hmm.
You guys will get Cole Payton from North Dakota State.
Well,
you'll get your Carson Wentz.
To be honest with you, though, Sean, I'm a little intrigued by him just in the fact that he's good. I'll tell you the guy. The guy that I'm intrigued by. I know he looked like I know he's got a lot of, like Drew Aller, the kid from Penn State. I realize you got to do a lot of work with him because he's sloppy. His footwork's fucked up. I read somewhere where a couple of the scouts were saying, like, boy, they really didn't coach him up that good. but physical talent wise, he's 6'5". He can move. He's got a rocket for an arm. Like, to me, if I'm a good team like the Eagles and that kid's sitting there in the 4th round, I draft him. I bring him the fuck in, and I really work on all the fundamentals with him for like a year or two.
You know what that sounds like to me? Too much work. I got a whole new crew of coaches in here. It sounds like too much work right now.
Yeah, but I hear you, but you never know. You know what I mean? Like you never know, because even though the kid's sloppy, and I'll be the first one to admit, I thought he was overrated as fuck at Penn State. So I mean, I'm kind of going against my own opinion, but 6'5" with a rocket arm and can run. I mean, the only thing I'll say, a lot of people didn't think Josh Allen was going to be shit the first couple years in the NFL either. You know what I mean? Josh Allen came in, they did a lot of work with him. Like I remember the first 2 years Josh Allen was in Buffalo. I mean, a lot of people didn't think he was going to do shit. And then all of a sudden, years 3, 4, he really started coming on. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Just one more. Maurice Wright says, I really felt that Tanner could run this offense, especially the new offense that Mannion is bringing in. Yeah, we'll see what happens. So, but Jeff, you had mentioned the Phillies, because we're hoping that our team hits on the draft. Well, the Phillies are a team that can't fucking hit at all. So what's your yeah.
I like what Crawford's doing. Crawford.
I love it. Move him up.
He's looking really well.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing well, and he's playing smart. For me, he only had one bad play. I thought like Rojas probably would have had that one catch over his head at that one game, but he'll learn that position. But he looks. I like him here.
It's learning curve.
Painter looks okay. Painter doesn't look overbearing. He doesn't have that kind of Cole Hamels mystique that everybody was thinking this guy was going to come in and fire him, kind of like Cole Hamels was. I don't see that yet. I guess he's just getting his feet wet in the way they're using him and everything. Alec Boone, oh man, he's just not doing it. You can move. I don't care where you move him on the lineup now. He's just not hitting. Turner, you got his hit. All right, everybody goes through little slumps. Mm-hmm. Turner's known for starting off slow. Then you go down to Schwarber, whatever that is, he's got some hits. Finally, Harper's starting to come alive a little bit, which is good. Bone, nothing. Just nothing. JT, everybody's like, oh, JT, they should never give him the contract, blah, 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 blah. JT is great for the pitching staff. He's still got a gun for an arm, and he's still one of the better catchers. They're not looking for him to hit 30 home runs, possibly 20 on the year. He still can hit. He's not going to be as good as he was. His bat's a little bit slower, but he's still a hell of a good catcher. I can see that. Stott, I'm kind of concerned about.
Big time. He fucking sucks.
He's got a great glove, but that's it. I just don't know what happened to his hitting, but it's just gone.
I thought he killed us yesterday. Like I didn't watch the whole. Admittedly, I didn't see a ton of the game, but I did see that 8th inning where they had first and third, nobody out. And I mean, you talk about a guy that looked like he was scared to fucking death up there. Stott.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he went up there. He didn't have a clue what the fuck he was doing. I mean, he was swinging at balls. He strikes the fuck out. It changed the whole dynamic of the inning because, after Stott strikes out, then you got Garcia. They bring in a sidewinding right-hander to pitch to Garcia. And I told Amanda was sitting there. I told Amanda, I said, I said, hon, I said, we're not even going to score. I said, watch. And sure as shit, it gets to 3-1. The fucking guy throws the sidewind shit. Garcia pops it up, and then dumbass Marsh gets doubled off.
We've had so many second and third and no outs and score one run, or bases loaded and score one run. I mean, it makes no sense. No situational hitting. They haven't been stealing the bases very much. We knew Garcia was going to be a hit or miss per se, no pun intended. He's either going to hit or he's not going to hit. He's not going to do much. Marsh seems to be one of the surprises here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
Marsh is having a good start to the year. I have no issue with Marsh.
Since last
I mean,
year, since June, they said of last year or whatever, he's like the third best on base percentage in the league.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I guess the to me the big problem with the Phillies is I remember like 3, 4, or 5 years ago, like people were like, oh, the Phillies, like, yeah, they have so much power. Like the Phillies, they barely have any fucking power.
I was going to say, if you're a pitcher right now, you're going to play the Phillies. Do you kind of fear them like you would fear like the Yankees? No. Sean, what do you think? If you were a pitcher, would you like fear the Phillies? No.
No. I'm going to get in there and do like Kyle Schwarber just did. He hit a home run. We're winning 1-0.
There you go. But then what are you going to do with Harper? You're going to throw it outside and low. I know.
I'm going to try to swing for the fences like violently. I mean, he just needs to get up there. I think me and you said it. And just hit the ball because you have so much power. Stop trying to do what you did back in the day.
It's funny, but
you're getting older now. Like
those home runs that he hit, they were hit. But yesterday, that double that he hit down the line, it hit off the IBX board.
Yeah.
That was a rope. That's the way he needs to hit. Just swing the bat. That was a beautiful swing, and that was a beautiful hit. Those home runs, like you said, he's strong enough. They'll come.
Yeah. Stop trying to kill the ball. You know damn well what you're doing. I think you're just trying too damn hard. Just go up in there. Boom. That's it.
Yep. And then their pitching staff, I don't know what's happening with Sanchez. I don't know if having a bad game throw him off, but his first game was just unbelievable. And then he just seems to be off a little bit. Something's not right there, and I don't know what that is. Hopefully he'll get it back. I know pitchers sometimes, anybody can go through, a game or two. But just something doesn't look right the way he's throwing. Because he looks like he's in control, but now he's rolling his eyes and looking up a lot. That's telling me he's not comfortable.
Yeah, well, here's my buddy Austin Weathers with a comment. He says Marsh is having a good year. It's all favorable matchups, but he still should be an everyday player. Well, hopefully, he can be if he could start hitting lefties better. But Austin actually brought up a point to me last week. I wanted to give him some credit where some of the guys on MLB Network were saying that Sanchez's delivery was a little off. Maybe, hopefully, maybe working in the bullpen this week, maybe he got that corrected. Because, I'll tell you, it's early in the year, obviously. So, I'm not going to sit here and panic, but, this 3-game set against, actually the next 6, if you look at the Phillies schedule, you got the Cubs here for what, 3? Is it 3 or 4?
Yes, and then 3, I believe. And then
all right, you got the Cubs. You got the Cubs here, and then you have Atlanta coming here. So even though it's still April, it's time to start winning some of these fucking games. Let's keep it real. Maurice Wright with a comment says, if you know how to battle pitchers and win most of those battles, there's no need for power. Yeah, Maurice, I agree and disagree, because here's the thing, in general, I'm with you in general as far as it's important to put the ball in play. You want to keep you want to put pressure on the defense, all that stuff. But you also, the other thing is, though, those power hitters, if you do have a guy or two on base and you got a guy coming up that could jack the ball and the pitcher has a little bit of fear, that plays a big role too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like an intimidation factor. You know what I mean? Imagine you're a pitcher, you got 2 dudes on base, and then you got back in the day, I'm going way back, but back in the day, with the San Francisco Giants had Barry Bonds and Matt Williams coming up. You're like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Damn, I got 2 dudes that I got to worry about that could take me deep. You know what I'm saying? Or liaise with the Bash brothers when you had Canseco and McGuire.
Well, you do have it with Schwarber and Harper. It's just, we're just not playing good ball right now. We're not playing small ball. We're not stealing. We're not bunting. I just don't feel like I just feel like we are. We're back to that home run hitting team. And Gallen, we had on the ropes. We had him when we didn't score enough runs against him. He was done. I mean, they were crushing the ball off of Gallen in that one inning. And when we get a couple runs from the home run and from, some of the guys on base.
Turner.
Yes. Turner's 2 runs.
Yeah.
He should have scored a lot.
I move Crawford up in the lineup. Do it now.
They do that.
Yeah. You have to. Because the kid didn't steal bases just for the hell of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the writing on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
If you want that, you got that first hitter. Bang. That kid's going to go for a double if he has it because he has the wheels.
You're right. Starting a game
fundamentally sound.
That's like starting a game in extra innings. You already have a guy at second base.
Yeah.
That's huge on a pitcher's mind.
That kid's triple was beautiful. The way he rounded the bases.
And that's the kind of player he is. He's not going to kill. He's going to hit a home run here and there, but hits the kind of player he is. And that's what we need to have these guys on first. And then that's when you're, how many home runs has Schwarber hit with nobody on base? Way too many in his career with us.
Right.
We need guys on base.
Well, speaking of the Phillies are up 1-0 the top of the second.
Right.
That's what I said. Remember Schwarber.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed it. Okay.
I'm just worried about the pitching. Luzardo doesn't look that good. He looks all over the place.
Well, you know what, though? Take credit. Like he said, he doesn't look good, but he took accountability, which I love.
Yeah, he did.
And, he said his mechanics were so-so. And you know what? Got to go back to the drawing board. He could have said, you know what? It wasn't me, but he took accountability. I think he's good, man. He's just like you said, it's early. Do it now rather than later.
And Taiwan should not be even out there on this team.
No,
I'm sorry.
It's going to come to an end because we're getting Wheeler back, and that's a blessing.
And they can't rely on too much on Wheeler right off the bat. He's been work him in, baby him. But Taiwan just has to go because when I know he's pitching, I already think we're done.
You have no faith in him.
He doesn't look like he wants to pitch. Literally, watch
that demeanor. Yeah.
It's just like
bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luzardo's the anti-Shaggy. Remember, Shaggy said wasn't me. That Luzardo's like, But
hey, I give a lot of credit for saying that he knows he was off and he's got work to do. I mean,
absolutely
generic answer, but to that, I give him a lot of credit.
Yeah, that's true. Maurice Wright says, you're right, Joey, but Olerud and Mahler killed us. Carter buried us. No, I agree with you, Maurice. I mean, believe me, I'm not arguing. I just wish they had another. I think another power hitter, I think, would really help this team. But they also need guys on base. All right, so because the Flyers are ready to start, so I want to let's wrap this up here. But yeah,
man.
Which I know that I'll tell you, it feels I can't remember the last time I said that fucking sentence. It's been years, So anyway,
Rod Brindamore needs to go into his guys and say, "Hey guys, look, don't say anything to anybody, but let's let the Flyers in. They're my alumni team. They're my old team. Let's just let them in. Let's make it look good because we know we can kick their ass if they ever move. If we have to play them in the playoffs.
Hey, but I hear
you never know, but that's just the kind of.
I hear you, Jeff, but if there's ever and believe me, I don't think the Flyers are making a cup run. I'll preface it by saying that. But if there's ever a sport where the team could get hot, like hockey and baseball are the two sports where, like, if you get in and get fucking hot, you never know. Like NFL and NBA, I feel like, although NFL is only one game, but I feel like in general the cream kind of rises to the top. You know what I'm saying? But hockey and baseball, man, you get in and get hot, you never know. But let's look at these next 6 games. So, all right, what's the Phillies record? 3 versus the Cubs, 3 versus Atlanta. What do the Phillies do? I say 4-2. I say they kind of get their head out of their ass a little bit.
Does Taiwan pitch?
Well, that's one of my losses.
Yeah, I'm with you, Joey. 4-2, bud. Couldn't agree more.
I go 3-3.
All right, so that's one. Excuse me. Now this time next week, I'm trying to think. I don't know when the Flyer series would start. Sixers Boston would start next Sunday. So Sixers question:
Yeah.
Are the Sixers winning the play-in game?
Hell no.
No.
You think so? You think Orlando is going to beat
No.
them here?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Dude. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that. Why? I see. I think the Sixers caught a major break because Orlando shit the bed and lost to Boston's fucking second and third stringers. Because that John would have been in Orlando had Orlando won that game. So the fact that the game is here, I'm going to say that I'm going to say the Sixers beat them. So and then I think
5-1.
Yeah, Marie says 5-1, and then Austin's got a question here. How do you got? What's your guys' feeling on the ABS? JT has been 5 out of 5, but yesterday's game ended on an ABS strikeout. What do you guys think of that?
I mean,
I kind of like it, and I don't like it. I like old time baseball. I'm sorry. I know we all complain about the refs and all this kind of stuff, or the umpires or whatever from all the different sports. But it had to be true back then. Technology has really ruined a lot of stuff, a lot of sports, a lot of things. But to a point, I can honestly say I love it when the Phillies are right and the other team's wrong. It's kind of funny. And like you said, we've been pretty good on that. I just think they're tinkering they tinker with too much.
Yeah, I think it's
loaded,
something.
one out.
I think it's something that we'll wind up getting used to. You know what I mean? It's kind of like remember the first year where they made such a big deal about the pitch clock and all that shit.
Yeah.
You don't even hear about it anymore.
That's
different. You know what I'm saying?
I still hate extra innings putting the guy on second base.
Well, I don't like that.
In my lifetime ever like that.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm with you there. I don't like that either. That's the one thing. I don't like that either because it gimmicks up the game. Like, and the other thing is too, not to be a dick, I don't really give a fuck if the pitchers have to throw a bunch of pitches. Like how many of those games, I remember those 18 inning games, 19 inning games, like Mitch Williams got the hit 3:00 in the morning.
I was at that game when Mitch Williams got the hit. You were there forever. It was miserable and misty rain and all that shit, and you were just there. That was fun. It took a lot of strategy and a lot of, like you said, you have pitchers playing other positions. You really had to think and come through. Now it just makes it too easy. Yeah,
like I said, I don't mean to sound like a dick, but these motherfuckers get paid a lot of money. All right, dude. Well, gee, the bullpen had to get taxed. Well, so fucking what? I don't give a shit.
I'm sorry, but I don't like hockey doing the shootout. I don't mind 4-on-4 or 3-on-3. But I do not like shootouts. Shootout to me is just a waste of time.
You know what I wouldn't mind? You know what I wouldn't mind seeing seriously? I'm all right on the shootout, but to play into your point, maybe you do 3-on-3 for 5 minutes, and then maybe do 2-on-2 for 3 minutes. Guess what? There would be a goal probably within 10 minutes. Someone would score.
I would say the most would be 3-on-3 for a whole period, because your guys are going to have to be, obviously they have to be in shape. You got to be quick with your line changes and everything. That would be the most I would go for. But the shootout for me, that's minor league stuff. I'm sorry. That's like all-star game weekend. You know what I mean? It's just, to me, that was never hockey. Hockey was overtime, was Keith Primo after 4 overtimes. I know that's playoffs, but I'm sorry. I like the old school stuff. And then, God, I can't even go into football because there's a million rules that I think suck out the ass in football.
Yeah. And then if you're Donovan McNabb, well, to end on this note, if you're Donovan McNabb, you never even understood the overtime rules, remember?
I remember that.
He's like, ties, they got ties, motherfucker. What do you mean they got? They've been doing this shit for years, dog. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, all right. Well, listen, the game, we're about to have opening face-offs. Let's wrap this joint up.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody for checking us out. Hopefully next week, the Flyers are already up a game or two on Pittsburgh. If the Sixers get in, hopefully, I don't know, I'll pray for a miracle that maybe somehow they could be competitive and somehow the big guy comes back at some point. And the Phillies, I said 4-2, but I mean, shit, I'm going to hope for something. I hope for 6-0. So, and then this time next week, a lot of draft talk because the draft, we are 10 days away from the NFL draft. So
let's go.
Make sure you tune in. I love the draft. So anyway, all right, guys, see everybody. Go Flyers, go Phillies, go Eagles, and go Sixers.
Go Birds.
And goodbye Wings because they're done for good.
Strong, let's break the mold. Chasing the stories yet untold. Passion ignites like a blazing fire. Knowledge takes us higher, higher. Out of the box where the wild ones play. We see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. Alive with endless dreams. We're more than stats, we're the in-between. A slam dunk.